So today is June 13, 2014. Sayadaw, we continue with the Dhamma talk about the 5 factors for a successful yogi to have. According to Satipatthana Sutta, the yogis here are making great effort in the development of mindfulness, and then they need these 5 factors to have so that they can practice successfully. So among the 5 factors, the first one is Saddha, faith. So regarding this fact, Sayadaw expounded the qualities of the Buddha. Recollecting the qualities of the Buddha, we can feel inspired to put great effort in the practice, and we can become tranquil and peaceful. And by observing rising and falling of the abdomen as a primary object, or by observing any phenomena obvious in any physical position, going, sitting, standing, or whatever physical position, so we are developing mindfulness. We observe the whatever phenomena obvious, mental or physical or emotional, and we can see phenomena arising and passing away moment by moment. So first of all, by developing the mindfulness, we can develop our concentration becomes stronger. And with the stronger concentration, our mind clearer, and then we can see things clearly, more clearly. That's how our inside knowledge become developed. So by recollecting Buddha's quality, so our mind become tranquil, and we can easily develop concentration, and then thanks to concentration, we can develop the clearer knowledge, clearer insight into the nature of the psychophysical phenomena. So second factor for us to have for successful practice is Apabhada in Pali. That means the healthy, good health. And here, good health means we must have the good digestion system. We have a strong stomach to digest the food we eat. And also, for better digestions, we are advised to eat the suitable food and healthy food. We are advised not to eat the food very heavy, not easy to digest, and a very hard or very spicy food. So by avoiding unhealthy food, junk food, and by eating healthy food, a suitable amount of food, a moderate amount of food, we can digest the food we eat, and we can become healthy. So to be healthy here means actually to eat proper and suitable moderate amount of food. So that's the way we can be healthy. So if we eat too much, our stomach become too full and too tense, and feel very uncomfortable. So it's also difficult to sit comfortably. And also we become sleepy. Too much food makes us sleepy during the sitting hour. And during the lifetime of the Buddha, there is the very famous king, King Kosala. He eat a lot. He eat a lot of meat and a lot of rice, and he eat too much. to sit in front of the Buddha. So he eat too much, so that his stomach is too full to sit properly in front of the Buddha. And also when the Buddha gave Dhamma talk, he could not pay attention to the Dhamma, and he sleepy and nodding in front of the Buddha. So in this regard, the Buddha gave him advice, because the King Kosala, he was so fat, like a pig. So it's a very uncomfortable. He moved here and there. So at that time, there was the nephew of the King Kosalat. So the Buddha taught a poem to his nephew, the king's nephew, to recite during the meal time of the king. Here, Sayadaw recited the poem in the authentic Pali. Manozada sarasati mado madan janado lada bhojana tanukasa bhavandi vedana tanikan jirati ayu phalakan. This is the poem. The Buddha taught the Sudarsana, the nephew of the King Kosala, to recite this poem every time the king take his meal. And it's a kind of reminder. The meaning is, as a human being, one should be mindful all the time. One should be moderate in eating. So we should not eat too much unhealthy food. So in the case of the eating also, the middle way is important. We should not eat too much and too rich. We should eat suitable and a healthy, suitable amount of the food. So that's a middle way. So by eating suitable amount or healthy food, so the Buddha said we can become, we can look younger, and we can live longer. So that means we can look younger and healthy and good looking. So it's a literal translation. And if we eat too much, we got the stomach problem and a gastric, and also we can live a short life. So by eating healthy and a moderate amount of food, we can be look younger and live longer. So this is the translation of the Pali passage. The advice given by the Buddha to King Kosala, and this passage need to be recited every time the king take his meal. So as yogis, we also follow this advice of the Buddha, so that we can become healthy enough to make great effort in the meditation practice. So following the advice given by the Buddha, King Kosala, he became very healthy and he lost a lot of weight and very active. And then he happily paid visit to the Buddha, and then the Buddha gave another passage or Dhamma, Aroja Paramalava, and so on. So the translation of this Pali poem is Aroja Paramalava, means the good health is the best gain. The most superior gain is good health. The most superior wealth is contentment. And Vannissara Paramanyati. So the best relatives is whoever is friendly with us. And then the most superior bliss is, of course, Nibbana, where there is no suffering at all. So that's another advice, another Dhamma talk given by the Buddha to the King Kosala. So in this regard, Sayadaw recounted his childhood days when he was young and like 15 or 16 of age. As a monks in Burma, sometimes Sayadaw didn't have enough food, and food is not good enough. So sometimes the generous donor, they came to the monastery, offer the good food. Then as a young monk, he ate a lot. And then he feel very uncomfortable after having too much. So he realized the advice, the Buddha's advice given to the King Kosala. So he should not eat too much. He appreciates Buddha's advice. And also there is Venerable Sariputra's admonishment regarding the food moderation. So thinking or recollecting the Buddha's advice and the Venerable Sariputra's instructions, Sayadaw trying to practice the moderation in food. So there are suitabilities for yogis to have. Among them, the food suitability is one of them. So we need to take the food in a moderate amount. So we have to develop the moderation in food intake. So in this regard, Venerable Sariputra, he gave us the instruction in Pali, Chattaro Panja Alope Abodava Udakampiwe, and so on. So he said that without eating 4 or 5 mouthfuls before our stomach is full, we should drink water instead. In this way, we can feel comfortable and make great effort in the practice. This is the instruction given by Venerable Sariputra. It's a very important instruction for us to practice healthily, to make effort in the practice. So now we have completed 2 factors for yogis to have. The first one is faith, to have faith, and the second factor is to have good health. Now the third factor is in Pali, asato amayawi. That means we should not be cheating. We should be straightforward and honest. We should not be hypocritic. We should be honest. So honest with whom? We must be honest with our teachers, our fellow meditators, yogis, and when we have, for example, unwholesome thoughts, we should mention to our teachers, I have unwholesome thoughts, and how to cope with that. We should get advice from the teacher. Although we should honest with the experienced meditator and what really happening to us. So yatha buddhaṃ attanaṃ bhavikatāṃ. So we have to express ourselves truly in an honest way, so that the teachers can give us good advice and a fellow meditator can help us the best way possible. So number 4 factors for us to have is effort, energy. As an intensive meditator, we must have great effort. We should not be lazy or bored. We should make great effort. So great effort to put where? To overcome unwholesome mental state. We have to put great effort. And then to develop the wholesome mental state or merit that has never arisen before. So we have to make effort in developing wholesome states or in overcoming unwholesome state. We should not be lazy. With the effort and energy, we can accomplish anything in life. Whatever difficulties or hardship or pain it may be, if we have courageous effort, heroic effort, we can overcome any pain or difficulty or problem. So when we encounter pain or unpleasant sensation or any hardship, we should not be agitated. We should not be very tense. We should relax our mind and body. For example, if we cannot focus on the meditated object, the mind is wandering, and then we should apply the labeling. Labeling is very helpful to precise awareness, and so make effort, make more effort by labeling or naming the object concurrently and precisely, concurrently with the phenomena, present phenomena arising. Then we can develop the continuous mindfulness and concentration. So in this regard, our venerable teacher, Pandita Bhikkhu, he gave advice. So when we have any unpleasant sensation, we should not be restless and agitated. Instead, we should relax our mind and body. And at some time, we may not need the labeling and naming. And then we just make sure our mind is focused on the objects. We just watch the unpleasant sensation or irritation or any kinds of mental condition, and we just watch it. And then we see the unpleasant sensation changing and arising and passing away, and finally its decrease may disappear. That's the advice given by our teachers, Pandita Bhikkhu. So the fifth and last factor we need to have as an intensive meditator is panya, wisdom. So when we develop the Vipassana insight, it is very important to penetrate into the psychophysical phenomena. So here, wisdom or knowledge, it has nothing to do with worldly secular education like BA or MA or PhD. So here the wisdom and knowledge is related to the discernment of the truth, realization of the truth. The psychophysical phenomena of 5 aggregates, they are arising and disappearing. To see the truth means to realize the truth. So by developing the recollection of the Buddha's qualities, our mind can become tranquil and peaceful we feel inspired to make great effort. With a great effort, is observe the present phenomena moment by moment. We can able to focus on the abdomen as a whole object. When we breathe in, abdomen start to rise gradually, bit by bit, layer by layer, and the sensation along with the rising abdomen, changing moment by moment. We can experience different phenomena at every moment. And these phenomena arise, come into existence, and pass away, and arise, and appear, and disappear. That's called in Pali Udaya, Upada, and Atta. And arise, and pass away, appear, and disappear. So if our concentration is strong, mind is stable and tranquil, and then we can see the phenomena newly arising and disappearing immediately. And that's the wisdom. That's what we call wisdom. So we need to develop that wisdom so that we can be enlightened. We can attain Magaphala enlightenment. Unless we can see the psychophysical phenomena arising and passing away, there is no way for us to be enlightened, to be awakened. We cannot attain Magaphala enlightenment. So the Buddha said, Ariya, the noble disciple, here Ariya Pali word means the pure people, the people who are purifying all mental defilements. So why people get purified of mental defilements? There's a mindfulness. Through the continuous mindfulness, our minds can become purified. Without mindfulness, we have a lot of greed, attachment, selfishness, and they increase alarmingly. So gradually our greed and attachment and grow bigger and bigger. It become insatiable desire. It's because we don't see impermanence. We think we are someone everlasting. We don't see the psychophysical phenomena impermanent. So we develop the insatiable desire, which is wholly responsible for our mental and physical distress. So with the help of the mindfulness, we can see the greed. When it arises, we see the greed right away. And the greed or selfishness no longer grow bigger. And unless we have mindfulness, so greed and attachment, selfishness grow bigger and bigger. And then we fulfill our desire and greed. We do everything, good or bad. So as a result, we have to pay price, a terrible price. So through the mindfulness, we can become aware of ourselves when we feel greedy or selfish or desirous. And then we note it and we gain control over it. We can reduce the lobha or attachment or greed to certain extent or to certain degree. So in this way, the pure or the less the greed, the more happier we become. So before mindfulness development, we don't know what really happening to our mind. So it's ignorance. Because of ignorance, and we attach to this thing and that things, and that the lobha and attachment and greed grow bigger and bigger. As a result, we suffer a lot of mental and physical distress, worry and anxiety, limitation, and so on. So as a pure disciple or noble disciple or the Buddha, we should develop the mindfulness so that we can see the true nature of the mind and the body and their impermanence, and we can experience the enlightenment when we discern the true nature of mind and the body, their impermanence. In this way, we can accomplish our purpose of the Dhamma. So that's why the last quality or the fifth quality for a yogi to complete is the insight knowledge, the insight into the mind and the body and their impermanence. So if we have these 5 factors, we are bound to accomplish our spiritual purpose. So now Sayadaw expounded 5 factors for a yogi to complete. So in brief, we must have faith in the qualities of the Buddha, and we need to have the good health, and especially we have to take good and healthy and moderate amount of food, and our mind must be straightforward and honest, and we make great effort, heroic effort, whatever difficulties or hardship may encounter. And then the last quality is we have to develop the insight into the psychophysical phenomena and their impermanence. And also we need to overcome the conceit and restlessness of mind and agitation, kokoja, and so on. Then only can we accomplish our spiritual purpose. So this is the sutra called Bharani Yanga. According to this sutra, Mahasi Sayadaw composed a poem, and Sayadaw recited in Burmese. Here, English translation is: faith and health must be owned by you. The mind must then be straight and true. Striving to note without pause and gaps, rising and passing away, you grasp. These 5 factors must be complete to reach the goal for which you seek. So that's all for today, Dhamma talk.